Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hello and welcome to the Dork Forest. I'm Jackie Cation. I am your host of the Dork Forest. You probably know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. We're all over iTunes and whoever has downloaded it and repurposed it for whatever your needs. That's right. So feel free to review the show on iTunes. Feel free to email me, Jackie@JackieCation.com, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. Anyway, let's do the credits. Mike Rickberg composed and sang that song you just heard. He sang it with his wife, Sarah. He'll sing again his words to the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Patrick Brady is going to fix this audio, and Vilmos does my website. Okay. There are many ways to support the show. Let's talk about them. The easiest way is just to tell other people about the show and follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat @JackieCation and tell people word of mouth. Another way to support the show financially, doesn't cost you anything, is the Amazon banner. On JackieCation.com, there's an Amazon banner under Support the Show. And on DorkForest.com, there's just an Amazon link that takes you to Amazon. And both take you to Amazon, you order like normal, and the show gets a little bit of a kickback. Doesn't cost you extra. It's just a way, if you order from Amazon, to help the show. More direct way of helping the show, you can give money to the show via PayPal. There's a PayPal button under the Support the Show page on JackieCation.com, and there's a PayPal button on DorkForest.com. You can donate directly. If you want to give monthly, I haven't made that easy. I don't have a monthly setup. I know that it's easy. I just don't have any time to do it. So you have to remember every month that you like the show and then give me money. So I'll use it wisely on audio cables and chocolate, whatever. Another way to support the show, if you don't like PayPal, is people have been Venmoing me money. I'll take it. That seems lovely. Jackie@JackieCation.com. It's just under Jackie Cation. So whatever. If you have listened to all 600 and whatever episodes of the Dork Forest and would like more Dork Forest, there are premium episodes, probably a dozen of them. And they are, in the last couple of years, if I do a live episode, it usually costs me some money. So I have been putting them up on Bandcamp, and they cost money. They cost $2 a pop. But if you go to thedorkforest.bandcamp.com, you can see those different shows. They're usually live episodes around the world. And there is also four stories on a sort of a handmade storytelling album that I made over there too. And those are just $1 each. So if you want to go to Bandcamp, you can do that as well. You can order merch on JackieCation.com. There are shirts and CDs and a DVD of my stand-up. There's the stand-up CDs, Circus People, It's Never Gonna Be Bread, This'll Make an Excellent Horcrux, and my brand new album, I Am Not the Hero of This Story. And they're all available as CDs on JackieCation.com. They're all available digitally on Amazon and iTunes, and you can just listen to them on Pandora and Spotify and whatever. So, but if you like hard copies, let me know if you want them signed or not. There's also a DVD of the Horcrux album, which is video. That's what a DVD is. And you can download that at comedyfilmnerds.com if you just like a download. Okay, there are shirts. There's my stand-up shirt, Spooky Reading Girl. There's also 2 Dork Forest t-shirts. So there's the Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirt, and there is a Dork Forest logo shirt. And all the shirts are made in the United States, union made, so they run a little big because they're made by Americans. Other than that, my stand-up is available on the website, on JackieCation.com. You can watch my Conan sets. You can watch a bunch of different stand-up sets. You can, and then you can see what my schedule's like. Enough of this. Let's get into the show. It's a really good one. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. It's a big Dork Forest.
Yeah!
It's a very crowded Dork Forest.
It's big. It's monstrous.
I got Larry and James from Monster Party.
Yeah! Monster Party!
It is a Monster Party, you guys. And so Monster Party is the podcast, and I've mentioned it many times on the Dork Forest.
Yeah.
Because people love horror. People love monsters.
Yes, they do. Yes. It's big. It's popular.
And you guys have
current.
It's current, and you guys have a podcast.
We do.
We do.
Called Monster Party.
Yes.
With Matt Weinhold and
Sean Sheridan.
And Sean Sheridan. And so Matt and Sean and Larry and James, you guys gather and speak to monsters about monsters. And so I've been trying to get you on the Dork Forest forever. I can never get you solo.
Yeah.
You guys travel in two.
It's true. But I just want to point out, Jackie, it's not just people who are monster fans, but it's because we do the whole gamut. We do science fiction, fantasy, and horror and monsters.
Those are the ones I've been on.
Yeah. And so it's because that's the thing. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to say I like one more than the other. But,
Right.
But it's amazing when you say that. I mean, horror fans, it seems like just recently with the movie It,
Yes.
I mean, who would have known that film would have done as well? I mean, people were flocking to it.
What is it?
What is It?
Yeah.
Stephen
it's a
King?
remake?
Well, it has been made once before for television in 1990. This is the first time it's been adapted theatrically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of King's longest novels. This is like 1,300 pages.
Yeah.
It's longer than 1963? Holy smokes.
It's up there, yeah.
It's up there. Wow. So what is it? Is it like Cousin It?
No. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, it's very scary.
It's a little hard to describe because it's sort of a shape-shifting manifestation of fear.
Fear.
It's allegorical, and yet it's physical, and it's basically a clown named Pennywise.
Okay.
Which is in pop culture right now. You've seen the creepy clown all over the place.
I feel like that's James Bond's love interest, Pennywise. Or it's Pennyworth or Penny.
Money Penny.
Money Penny. There we go. It's I might not know a lot about movies, you guys. So we're going to start at the beginning and go forward. That's
Okay.
the great thing about the Dork Forest is that it can be about. So you guys, you have to follow Monster Party at Monster Party HQ on all the things, right? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you can find it, and then it's on iTunes and whatnot, right?
Yeah,
and listen to the pod.
And the thing that's cool about it is, look, it's not just one person. It's four of us, and we're all dynamic individuals, and we don't always agree on stuff. And sometimes we get in some really heated discussions
about monsters and science fiction.
For example, I'll give you a perfect example. And I think James is on my side, so maybe it's not really fair. But the whole topic of zombies.
The other two are not here.
No, zombies are really big. You got The Walking Dead. It's really big. You got Fear of the Walking Dead. Zombies are everywhere. So zombies are in pop culture right now, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I have some issues. There are some rules. There are rules with zombies. Number one, zombies can't run. It's illogical. It's totally illogical for zombies to run. However, Matt and Sean, they're in the different camp. They're all, no, zombies can run if you write a story that makes zombies run. But it's not a true zombie. So we've gotten these huge arguments.
And Matt's argument is, well, there are no true zombies. It's fiction, so you can do whatever you want.
Right.
Hey.
Where did zombies come from?
Well, from the 1968 Night of the Living Dead. Now, we've had this argument. You could say, well, where's that film with Bela Lugosi, White Zombie? No. That's not...
The modern zombie was basically created by George Romero,
Yes.
rebooted by George Romero into the zombie that we know and love today.
And
we love it?
And Jackie,
Well,
I ran into George
To a
Romero.
zombie? Oh, okay.
No, not a zombie, but George Romero. And I asked him, and I filmed him while I did it. I said, Mr. Romero, you are the genius. You are the man behind zombies. Tell me, just set me straight. Can zombies run? And he laughed. He goes, zombies don't run. Now that's from George Romero. And I look in the camera and go, I got you, Matt Weinhold. You're so full of crap, So I got it from him. And then Matt throws at me, well, that's his interpretation. And I'm just saying that's just one example of something. We just did a show. About worst monsters.
Right. And it is, in fact, our 100th episode. So we are celebrating that this month.
There you go.
Now I know
This October, 100 episodes of Monster Party.
And I know it may not sound big to you because I know you've got some like 1,000 episodes or something like that. But
There's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, but for us, we do one every other week religiously.
And you guys...
And it's four of us getting together, bringing the guest, and it's good quality entertainment.
And it's a scheduling nightmare. I bet you it's got to be a scheduling nightmare.
It's
to get the
tricky.
four of you?
Yeah.
Plus a guest?
Yes.
How do you get Dana Gould to come down off the hill?
Two things: food and booze. We always that's the thing because it's Monster
I have
Party.
coffee and chocolate.
Yeah. No, and Jackie, this is great, but see, the difference is some people have criticized us, saying, "Well, Monster Party, you guys kind of talk over each other," and it's like, look, it's not called Monster Interview; it's called Monster Party. It's four guys and a guest. We have some food beforehand. then have some cocktails, and then we start our podcast. So we're all kind of loose, kind of freewheeling, and we're having fun. And so we're having a conversation. And sometimes when you're at a party and you get in a conversation, sometimes you get in a heated debate. Right?
Sure. But we've been sensitive to, the observation that sometimes we talk over each other, and that can be a little hard to decipher. So we're sensitive to that. I think
who's your audio guy?
Well,
that's part of the problem. There we go. Because if you had an audio guy who had you all on separate tracks, and then you paid an editor to whoever was talking, like if you recorded it on 5 tracks, then you could go, oh, this is a great conversation. 3 of these people have points. 2 people are just yelling because they had too many beers.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
but that's the my dorkdom of the technicality of podcasts. Not as vital. Here's my question: I had one person on speaking to me about The Walking Dead, which I read, never saw.
So you read the comic book?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I read the first 2.
Okay.
And here's where I gave up, because here's what I think about zombies.
Okay.
And this is not. I was corrected. Is that the point of? She said the point of zombies is not the zombies themselves, but how people react to the end times.
Right.
Yeah.
And how they come together or fall apart, and what the power structure is, and the soap opera of that.
Yeah.
For me, I think all zombie movies or TV shows have to end one of 2 ways, which is either the zombies win and eat everybody and then die out because there's nothing to eat,
right,
or they cure zombieism.
I don't think you can actually cure zombieism, because you actually have to die to become a zombie. So you are dead.
Okay, so you have to kill patient 0 and everyone who's been bitten.
But Jack, I'm going to go a step further though.
Yeah.
To get into this scientifically and logically. If you think, I know we're talking about something that doesn't really exist. No, but if you think about it, zombies are. They are basically the Walking Dead. They have there's no cognitive thought, okay. Whatsoever. So you can't actually cure them, but what you can do is, you have to ask yourself, what causes the people to be Walking Dead? So is it a disease? Is it radiation? That's the big thing. And in Walking Dead, basically you have a society that has been changed. People have, it's like not everyone just gets bitten and, I become a zombie. You could be fine, and maybe then you feel sick, and then all of a sudden you slowly kind of wilt away, and then you die, and then you become a zombie. Because there's something in the air. There's something. And in The Walking Dead, the thing about Walking Dead is what they learned, I'm not spoiling it for anybody, because they find this out.
5 seasons later.
Well, no, in season 1, they find out that everyone is infected. The whole planet is infected. Some people, it's kind of like some people are allergic to bee stings, other people are not.
Right.
So, but in this society, in this world that's created in The Walking Dead, majority of the people are allergic to whatever it is in the air and die. And so what's left is the people who are not necessarily immune, because some of them may slowly turn into zombies. Maybe it takes some people longer.
Okay.
So, but the thing that gets a lot of people, one of the biggest criticisms right now about Walking Dead, James, you can back me up here if you think I'm going out on a limb here.
Okay.
But some people say what's happened recently is there's been less zombies and more violence of people against people, because when your society breaks down, what kind of society are you creating? Right.
That's what Debbie Gutierrez. That was her. That's what she loves about the show.
Okay, and
the zombies are just sort of like they're like if you live somewhere in a war zone.
Yeah,
you would just have to deal with the war zone, but you would mostly have to deal with the people that you were in the fort with.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so now what's happening, to use your analogy, now what's happening is most of the show is about being in the fort, and some people like Sean on our show has just like almost done with the show. He says, "Look, I want." He goes, "Look, I want to see zombies." And what they do is they throw in a zombie here and a zombie there, but it's mostly this human drama.
Yeah.
And Sean, I don't think is really a fan. The thing about it too is, Jackie, it's not the most uplifting thing. It's kind of a downer.
Sure. I saw the new Blade Runner movie.
Yeah.
There's a cheerful.
Hey! Not everyone here has seen it. Okay, so
you haven't seen it.
You know what? No. Some people have a life. Okay,
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Here's
what happened.
Some people have children.
Wedding,
okay.
My 11th wedding anniversary, I said to my husband, "What do you want to do?" And he goes, "I want to see Blade Runner."
Nice.
And I said, "Okay." And then, "Do you want to get dinner?" And he goes, "Yeah, I want to go to that place that we go to every 2 weeks." And I was like, "Well, then let's do that. And that was our 11th wedding anniversary.
That's a nice wedding anniversary.
It's a
I
perfectly
like
good-
that. No,
well,
we're planning. My wife and I are planning to see it. But
The gift that we gave each other on our 11th wedding anniversary was not having to worry about having gifts for each other. That was
a good gift.
the lack of tension was the gift we gave each other.
Wow.
Because who cares?
you know what? You've crossed a line. That's great.
It's very beautiful.
You've evolved.
Yes, it's so. Okay, so so you haven't seen
Blade Runner. No, I'm sorry.
I've seen almost no
can't-
movies.
Okay,
so-
I can't talk about the new Blade Runner. I can talk about the old one, but I really love. I thought
I had only seen because you brought a lot of Halloween stuff.
Well, Jackie,
it's October. You guys,
it's the Halloween month.
you have a giant skull.
This giant skull.
You've got a pumpkin that moves.
It's a pumpkin ghost.
It's a pumpkin ghost
with an evil
a
cat.
Is that a cat or a rat?
It's a cat. Don't
touch it.
Yeah.
It's
and
hot.
it lights up. Yeah, well,
and it's got chains.
But it's cool. What's cool is yes, I brought this really cool pumpkin ghost, and it's called a motionette. These were made back in the late '80s.
Oh, this is you did
yes,
say you said that this was a collector's item.
These are one of the 2-foot tall ones, and I have a huge collection of these. And every Halloween, I set up this whole display in my window, and the parents and the kids come from all over.
You have a huge collection of 2-foot tall motionettes.
Yes, I've got Frankenstein, Bride of Frank. Yeah, motionettes. I have. Yes, this one's very rare. I have a very rare gorilla, and he's holding a flaming candle. Very, very cool. The Phantom of the Opera that holds a mask. And a wolf man, and I have a creature from the Black Lagoon. My God, how cool is that? But I set them all up at the window, and then I've got a couple of Draculas. I have a generic vampire, a skeleton. I mean, they're really, really cool to see lit up in the window.
If there's no other house in Larry's neighborhood where kids can go, oh yeah, they have candy, it's Larry's house.
Another thing too, Jackie, the thing that I like about it is I'm not one of these guys. When I set up for Halloween, I mean, I love Halloween.
Right.
I'm a Halloween kid, and I'll explain that in a moment. But I'm not one of these guys that likes to make scary things, like having things jump out and freaking kids out.
Right.
I want to create a nice, happy, spooky Halloween experience. Like, I don't have things that are like cartoony. These things are really cool, and they move, and nothing jumps out at you.
Right. They move slowly,
Yeah.
but they are clearly haunted.
Yeah, and kids love it. I have a giant skeleton that hangs outside of the front of the house, and kids come and parents go, God, I just love these.
And
What
you've
you
been
do every year.
stuff for years?
Well, I started back in 1976, but
okay.
getting back to being a Halloween kid, and James kind of knows this. My birthday's in October, and what's so cool about this, Jackie, is when I was born in October, I love monsters. I like creepy things and stuff. So all that Halloween stuff would always come out in October. So for my birthdays, I always got, the creepy models or the rubber jiggler monsters or the chattering skull. I mean, I've got a huge collection of that stuff. But I've always been a Halloween fan. And Halloween when we were growing up as kids back in the late 60s, early 70s, it was a different time. Where costumes, you had like the Ben Cooper costumes.
Right.
You remember those, Jackie?
No, we never did Halloween when I was a kid.
What?
We were not Jehovah's Witnesses. Instead, I had bad parenting. My parents
I
could
brought
not
up
be
a sore
bothered.
subject.
You
and I could have been friends. You could have hung out with me, and we could have done costumes and stuff. It would have been fun.
But I had friends whose moms made them costumes.
Really?
It was a big time for moms to make kids costumes.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
Making homemade costumes is the way to go.
It's the way to go if you can face it.
Yeah.
And and if you, even a shitty homemade costume is kind of fun. I had teenager boys a couple of years ago, a couple of young men, a little old for the trick or treating, except the fact that they were all wearing like duster jackets, like those long coats.
Yeah.
And they pretended to be blind, so they had sunglasses on.
Okay,
and
all right.
One of them was facing the door. One of them was facing to the left. The other one was facing behind, and they all had their bags out and said "trick or treat" in unison. And I was like, "That'll be fine."
Yeah, that's good.
That is
good.
successful, gentlemen.
But that's another thing that's really changed about. It's really changed about Halloween is that back when we were growing up, there were costumes in Woolworths. Everything was a kid's costume.
Yeah.
Now that so much of it is geared toward adults.
Well, it's funny you should say that too, because if you think about those costumes, those Ben Cooper costumes that you got as a kid, What I hated about those is sometimes your parents, I don't have time to make a costume. I'm just going to go and buy one at Woolworths. So you get the Frankenstein one, or you get the Creature from the Black Lagoon one. You're so excited. The mask looks cool. And then you take out the costume and basically there's a picture of your character on the chest. And I'm like, what? It's like a bib. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love the creature. I live for the creature. But it's like, I have a creature mask and then it has a picture of him. And it says Creature from the Black Lagoon. I go, what? Is this for morons?
The real creature did not have his face on his chest.
No. And now, Jackie, check this out.
It'd be like if Elvis did that.
If you go, so right now in 2017 at Target, believe it or not, you go there, they actually have a Creature from the Black Lagoon costume for kids, and it's all scaled.
It's beautiful.
It's so
really?
Cool. Yeah, I had to get one for my daughter. It's like, well, I didn't say you're going to be the creature. I went, here, honey, I want to put this on. And the mistake is they should have made adult ones because I would have bought it instantly.
Have you seen, I've been at a Walmart and a Target recently, and they're kind of in the pajama section, but they're giant furry costumes. They're like animals and tiger and they're like footy
unicorns.
Pajamas.
There's a unicorn.
And you're like, well, I kind of want that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be a bunny?
Yeah.
But last year we had people over to hand out candy because we're the only house that decorates. It's true. Andy he has like this see-through thing that he puts on the porch.
Yeah.
And it's a piece of paper that looks like the Grim Reaper. It has a giant, and so it's lit from the back. And he goes shopping day after Halloween,
that's
right?
the way to
He
do
is
it.
so smart. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
He it was last year or the year before, I can't remember. He came home day after Halloween and he was like, I found 6 Dementors.
No.
He hung them all. It must have been 2 years ago because he hung them all in the tree last year.
Oh, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's around.
It's funny you should say that because it's true. I'm one of those guys that after the Halloween's over, I do like to go the next day to see what's there. What can I pick up at 50% off?
Yep. Right.
And one of my biggest regrets. Was I talking to you about this with you the other day?
I don't remember.
Okay. I love rubbery creatures, like
rubber spiders, and
rubber
bats
spiders and bats, and I had this huge, thick pterodactyl back in the 70s. I loved it so much.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
Yeah, but it basically fell apart because I was trying to make it fly all the time. But get this, Jackie. At the end of one Halloween, and this is back in I want to say 83 or 84. There was a big Halloween superstore, and they were trying to get rid of everything. And down on the floor was a giant 8-foot rubber snake. Normally, and it was huge, thick rubber. It was 8 feet long, huge rubber. I mean, the cost, they were selling it, I think, for $500. On sale now for $150. I flipped down and went, oh my God, Jack, the snake. But the problem was, his little rubber tongue wasn't there. He had been beat up. Everyone had played with the rubber snake, for the whole October. And I'm like,
not worth $150.
Well, you know what? And Jackie, sometimes I think I should have taken that rubber snake and said, look, his tongue is gone.
Right.
How about you take $50? I should have done that, but I didn't. And I regret that to this day.
Wow.
The negotiating. It's hard to commit.
Yeah.
So,
but I picked up this skull. I picked up that pumpkin. I picked up a bunch of stuff, but that is a great time, for decorations.
The most expensive thing that I've told before, I'll be telling it again.
Yeah.
Is I bought the Sky Mall. I bought a zombie coming out of the dirt.
Yeah.
So it's just a torso and arms of a dude coming out of the dirt.
Out of the Sky Mall?
Yeah, it was in the Sky Mall magazine.
On the airplane.
On the airplane,
Yeah.
from 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was $100. And I felt like, it's a lot of money, but this is something I knew he would love it.
Yeah.
And I usually don't buy any, I'm psyched. He likes to decorate the house.
Right.
I like to have the house decorated.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's really good. He does it for Christmas.
Yeah.
At Easter he bought pink flamingos. He's like, I think these are Easter in the year. And I was like, that's a desperate cry for help, my friend.
Okay, I do have a question. Okay, so
Sure.
so you didn't necessarily do costumes when you're a kid. Did you ever get a chance to go out and trick or treat?
No. I got to hand out treats because my when I was like 8.
Yeah.
Till I was 11, there would have been some trick-or-treating, but my stepmother was very busy, and she was like,
Sure.
Just here, why don't you hand out candy? It'll be fine. And then so I never wore costumes. Andy loves Halloween so much, and I like the idea. We went to Iceland about a month and a half ago. And you know how you can go to a portrait studio and dress up like a cowboy and they'll
Yes.
take a picture of you?
Yeah.
We got dressed up like Vikings at a portrait studio in downtown Reykjavik. And I got a bow and arrow. He had 40 pounds of chainmail.
Right.
And
Do they have Halloween there?
Do they?
I don't know.
Halloween is very American, isn't it? A very American thing.
It's
Or
pretty lit.
You know,
October it'll be dark all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were there the beginning of August and it was light until 11 p.m.
Wow.
So I don't know. I want Halloween has to have darkness for me.
It should.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Ideally.
So you know what? Halloween wouldn't work there. I guess that's what I would say.
And there's only 360,000 people, so
There you
in
go.
the whole
But
country.
But you know, it's funny. Halloween has become so incredibly big over the years. It has next to Christmas. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, Christmas is big, but it's like, you know, Thanksgiving can't even hold a candle to it.
No, it's become like the second biggest industry.
Absolutely.
And it didn't used to be that way.
No, and it's funny, when I was a kid, it seemed like, you know, things are geared more towards kids. But
Right.
now, I mean, with where we are, kind of in the LA area, you have these huge parties, like in West Hollywood. So huge streets are closed, so you can have this giant party of adults, you know,
Right.
dressing up in costumes.
well,
and
and
stuff.
it's LA. It helps just because there's like amazing lighting producers and directors,
Right.
Well,
and so the
sure.
lighting is amazing,
And also
the set decorators,
The
and
prosthetics and the types of makeup you can have access to here.
I think also
Yeah.
because, you know, you've got Hollywood, you know, you have people in entertainment. And my wife and I, before my kid was in the picture, we went down to West
Like
Hollywood,
West Hollywood
you
for
know,
the-
for a few of those Halloween party things. And it was amazing how many great costumes I saw. And actually, James,
do you
one of
guys
the cool-
dress up every year?
Actually, that's a really good question. I do, James.
I haven't dressed up. I haven't gone to a Halloween party for years, so I haven't dressed up for Halloween. I found myself dressing up in cosplay for conventions more recently, which is not
Okay.
something I ever thought I'd do.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
What do you? Is it science fiction? And like what do you dress as cosplay? I mean, I
Well-
think all costuming is fun.
Well, you know, my thing is that I don't want to do something easy, and I don't want to do something too familiar or too often done.
You like to shake things up a
I
little
just shake
bit.
things up.
Awesome.
My first costume was a character from Boardwalk Empire named Richard Harrow, the HBO show, and he's
Wow.
disfigured World War I veteran.
Okay.
But he's also a very kick-ass character because he's actually got a very sweet side, and yet he was a sniper, a dead-aim sniper.
Okay.
And he had to wear a face mask because his face was disfigured. And I thought, well, that's out of the box. So I did that for Comic-Con, and the first time I ever dressed up. And it's not one of those, it's not like you're Batman. You know, not a lot of people know this character, but
Right.
that's part of what made it special.
That is always fun. Did anybody recognize it?
Yes.
A couple people did come up and go.
A couple of dozen over
really?
over the course of a couple of days.
Right.
And, you know, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. And I got like 25, but the ones who recognized it were
Psyched.
very psyched, and that's part of the whole
And
fun of it.
was it a World War I like uniform? Is that what you were?
No, but World War One sort of period clothes. Like I had an old blazer and
Okay.
like an old knapsack I found from the Army Navy store.
Oh
So-
yeah. Okay, so you went there.
an old cap, and then last year, at the last Comic-Con, I was, you know, in Halloween, the Michael Myers character, the original John Carpenter Halloween, you know, that mask that Michael Myers wore was a repurposed William Shatner Star Trek mask. That was a Captain Kirk mask. So what I did was, because I had never seen anybody do this before, I bought the Michael Myers mask and had a Captain Kirk uniform on.
Very
oh my
clever.
God, that is
Very
a very
clever.
nice mashup.
Thank you.
That is
And I got a lot more response because this is something that's, you know, it's not something that's necessarily common knowledge, but a lot of fans who go to Comic-Con,
Yeah.
they got it.
Right, they're your people.
Right.
They're wandering around the Star Trek Halloween. Is that the name of the Michael Myers movie?
Halloween, the John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah. Now, James, so he chooses not necessarily to dress up for Halloween. Now, I do every year because my wife and I, we have a thing where my wife actually stays home and gives out candy, whereas
Okay.
I'll always go out with my daughter. And my daughter and I, over the years, have always done things where we're a theme.
Right.
For example, like when she was younger, she dressed up as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and
Right.
I was the Beast.
The Beast, right.
She was Tinkerbell. I was Peter Pan. And so
Right.
we've been doing this for years. Now, the thing I love about my kid is, So my kid has developed this love for monsters.
And you did Hermione and Dumbledore.
Yeah, I
That
was
awesome.
Dumbledore while
And
she was Hermione.
Oh, that's awesome.
She made a great Hermione. But now that she's gotten really into monsters and creepy things, so now this year she's going to be the character 11 from Stranger Things. and so she goes, so Daddy, what are you going to be? And I'm like, this is tough. I'm like, oh, what can I be? Can I be the Gorgon creature or whatever? So I've decided, you know what? I'm going to do something. We're not exactly going to go as a team, but I'm actually going to be, because I've got the raincoat, I'm going to be Georgie from It.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
With the balloon?
With the red balloon and the yellow rain jacket and stuff.
And the little paper boat.
With a little paper boat, and
Nice.
maybe I'll have an arm missing, but my daughter, it's so great. My daughter is getting into these spooky, creepy things, and she was going over options as to what she could be.
Right.
And originally she wanted to be 11. Then she goes, wait, I want to be Samara from The Ring. I'm like, whoa. She's 11. No, I'm sorry. She's 12. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then she started to tell me like other characters that were all like, she was thinking about being Wednesday from the Addams Family.
Okay.
Oh,
So I've had a lot of fun with my daughter trying to figure out what we're going to be. So
some friends of mine, they put their baby in a bee costume, and then he was a beekeeper. That was kind of a cute. That was
great.
kind of awesome, right?
That's great. So my kid and I, we do have a great time. You know, we're in a nice little working class neighborhood. We go around and we always try to get as much candy as possible. and
We never give out candy.
Whoa!
I know it.
What the hell are you saying? On Halloween, you don't give out candy?
It's not strictly true. Initially, Andy didn't want to give out candy. He wanted to give out toys. And so he he orders toys from toys made by children for children. The Oriental Trading Company. So
made by children for
yes.
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
So like they're little.
You want kids to have clean teeth? Yeah. Okay, that's great.
Well,
Right,
it is.
that's
Well, the
nice,
thing is, it's completely eroded to this year. And the last couple of years, they've had really cool gummy.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Like gummy bugs.
Yeah,
and
gummy bugs and gummy eyeballs. Yeah.
So we've been giving those out.
Okay, that's good, because I got to tell you, Jackie, if there's anything I hated when I was a kid,
Toothbrush.
Jackie, I got the toothbrush. I got corn nuts. I remember thinking, what the hell is this?
Corn nuts?
No,
Corn nuts.
Did you get corn nuts? It's like you go around the neighborhood and people go, here's a little Snicker bar. Oh, here's Three Musketeers. Here's a gumball, whatever. And then you get the corn nuts. So, what the hell? Healthy crap? Are you kidding me?
Raisins.
And then I got a toothbrush, and and I wanted to take that toothbrush. I wanted to throw it back at them. Here, take your toothbrush. And I got very I don't want to say violent, but it's like trick or treat's a time for kids to go out and be kids and have candy. I'm a big proponent of candy.
Yeah, but there's only so much candy that they can eat, really.
But Jackie, come on! I feel like
I don't mean to put limits on you. I don't mean to put limits on you.
See, because you didn't.
I'm not here to box you in.
Perhaps because you didn't get to do it when you were a kid, you're missing out, man. We got to take you out trick or treating.
Yeah, I overeat.
Okay.
There's some overeating that goes on.
I remember my kid. She. After
because she hoards, then you hoard and you dole out, right?
And let me tell you, I am not that parent that says, "Oh, let me try some of that. Let me have some of your candy." I don't do that. I let my kid have her candy. Because we always have some left over. I don't need to go into her candy. But it's like
you're an adult. You have a job.
Yeah,
it's her candy.
Yeah. It's her candy. But it's like
she took the lap.
We'll empty it out. We'll look at it to make sure there's nothing weird or strange in there.
Right.
And then, and then
like
she gets,
Zorts?
and it lasts. It's no. But she's good. She doesn't like overeat so much where she gets sick. I mean, she does have candy that first night, and then she has a little more the next day, and we make it stretch. But
does it ever go bad?
No,
you ever have it so long that it goes bad?
Well, if the clown throws an apple in there, yeah. I mean, and then, we talked about this on one of our shows. You remember the whole mystery of, beware of the apple that someone might put a razor blade in.
It was one kid's uncle, right?
No.
It wasn't even.
I don't even think it's true. No, I think we did some kind of survey. We're finding it's a myth. It is
an urban legend.
It is an urban legend.
Really?
Because think about it. And we brought this up we did a show about Halloween a while back where we had Dan Roebuck and Fong Sam, Dan Roebuck, the actor, and he says, think about it. You put a razor into an apple. First of all, how much is that going to cost? You know, and then are you putting like a bunch of raisins in an apple? And don't you think the kid and the kid's family might go, gee, where did this apple come from? And you go over the neighborhood. I mean, it's not like you're going to be some whiz, you know, like a whiz criminal and try, hey, I'm going to.
Right, you're not Bernadette Peters in Into the Woods.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like, oh, it's a witch. A witch gave me the apple.
But that changed things big time for trick-or-treating, I think, because people suddenly became really concerned.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when they started taking their kids to safe places like malls to
like malls.
trick-or-treat.
And then the stupid thing is then they would take your kid to a mall and they didn't have candy, so they give you a coupon for 10% off. It's like, well, this is crap, Jackie. That's not trick-or-treat. I want to go out to the, you know,
I remember
for
Greg Barrett used to do this bit about there's nothing fun about a fun-size candy bar because he gives out full-size candy bars.
That's awesome. That is great.
Fun sizes are like half the size of miniatures. That's like half the fun.
Well,
yeah, it's half the fun.
Think of it this way, though. You know, when you're doing trick-or-treat, it's a job, okay? It's a job. You got to work for it, okay? Yeah. For you to go from one door, if you time yourself to go to one door, ring the doorbell, trick-or-treat, thank you, you know, and then you go to the next one. You know, it's what? How long is that? Does that take 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So it's like you multiply that. If you get $25 per hour or something like that, you figure out how many houses can you go to?
5:30 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
3 hours.
No, but you can get those little fun sizes. You put them all together, that equals more than a big bar. You know. But the thing that gets me is, you know, look, I'd rather get a fun size candy than. You know, if someone like scoops, here's a scoopful of candy corn and throws it in your bag.
Oh,
what the hell is that?
No, I used to get.
Nobody's doing loose candy anymore. I don't think.
I hope. No, we've got that. And then the gumball, the old gumball. It's just like one gumball, and it's like, what the hell is this? Give me Smarties. Give me, Smarties are great.
Did you ever get money like coins?
Yes, like pennies and stuff,
or a dime or something.
Yeah, they'd be like, here you go.
Yeah,
keep moving.
Yeah,
it's Sometimes I hang out with these people and I have these friends and they have anniversaries and birthdays, and I always forget when anyone's birthday is or anything. So I do a thing that my dad used to do when he would forget. I'm the youngest of 6. So he would always just take $1 out and go, get yourself something pretty. And so I do that with my friends. They think it's funny. They don't know that it has a history of my father not giving a shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that my dad doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't give a shit.
Truthfully,
it fell apart. So
I did get growing up, I did get some money, like it was like either a dime or a nickel or something like that, but it was never consistent.
No,
where did you guys grow up?
Well, I grew up in Northern California, in the San Jose Bay Area, which is considered like Silicon Valley.
And I grew up in Flushing, Queens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go door to door in Flushing, Queens?
When I was smaller, when I was a little kid, you get to a point, or at least you did back then, when you outgrow trick-or-treating. And
Whoa.
Well, this is actually one of the things that I thought might come up, because one of the things about our show is that even though we have all been friends for years, there's still some stuff that comes up that we don't all know about each other.
Yes.
And I'm about to share something with you.
Are you going to do another thing?
The worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Uh-huh.
Because when...
Dun, dun, dun.
When I was, I don't know, maybe 14, 13.
Yeah.
Too old to trick or treat, but you have all this energy and you're with your buddies from like middle school.
Yeah.
And what we did, and this was sort of the thing to do in New York at the time when you were a kid that age on Halloween, go egging.
You didn't.
Throw eggs at buses.
James Gonis, you threw eggs?
I can't believe I ever did that.
Who are you?
I know.
Who the hell are you?
It's just this weird time of your life when, you're...
criminal time. Jackie, you think you know someone for 20 years and all of a sudden he throws his shit out like, I threw eggs when I was a kid.
But...
Are you... No. Did you really?
A 13-year-old is, by definition, a jackass. So...
I didn't do that crap.
If a 13-year-old did that here now, they'd probably get arrested.
Yeah.
Back then, I remember in New York that every Halloween, whether I was doing it or not, there'd be eggs all over the place. There'd be cracked egg yolks and eggshells on buses, on cars. But I participated at least one Halloween I remember, and I'm not proud.
Well, at least you didn't set things on fire.
With toilet paper? Did you do any toilet papering of things?
Never did that.
Okay, you
Does toilet
literally,
paper
somebody
cost
bought
money?
a dozen eggs, and you're like, we're going to whip these at somebody.
Well, because that's a pretty easy thing to throw. I never had a good throwing arm, and toilet paper requires some pitching skill.
Right, because you have to arc it, and it's got to be able to drape.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
Okay, but here's the thing that gets me. Eggs cost money, too. I mean, who's the clown who did that? Oh, yeah, let's put all money together and get a bunch of eggs. Or did you take them from, like, some kid's fridge? It's like, Mom won't know.
I actually thought you were going to tell me that you shook down some kids. And I was like, that would have been worse. Throwing some eggs is better than shaking down kids for
Give
candy.
me
My
your
friendship
candy.
with James might have ended if I found out that. I can't. I don't think the guys know that. You had a violent
that.
streak.
I've never brought that up.
Let
in
me
my
tell you,
life.
Jack. Maybe I'm a little old school. Maybe I'm a little, maybe I'm a little like passive. But I didn't do shit like throw eggs at buses and stuff. I was a no. I was a fan.
That's because you were raised in the Bay Area, a bunch of hippies.
Yeah.
Okay.
The boroughs-
hippies smoking reefer.
Back then, the boroughs were a very particular place to grow up.
Yeah.
And, it was very much the neighborhood. And I'm not defending it, but it was pretty commonplace back then.
Yeah.
At that place.
I was a fan of Halloween as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult. I was passionate about it when I was
To this day.
living
It's
at home,
happening now,
living at home. When it got to the point, and I actually stopped when I was 14. Because I loved dressing up for Halloween. It was like a big thrill. But then I felt I was making the transition, and I liked to dress up, and I would try to decorate our house or put my creepy things out, and I gave out candy, and I enjoyed doing that. But then I was going to Halloween parties too when you got to like 17 and 18 and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I never thought, hey, what the hell? Let's throw eggs at buses. Oh,
Yeah, I never. It was. I'm going to blame it on your friends. You were hanging out with dirtbags.
Yeah, ne'er-do-wells.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, you were going through some tough times.
And I wish I could go back to all those motorists and apologize.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. At that age, was it at that age you did the whole interiors thing?
Yes, actually.
Okay, Jackie, he did something.
It was a bad couple of years in James's childhood.
He told this story that it nearly broke my heart.
In the in-between years, those awkward years.
So we're big Godzilla fans.
We're all big Godzilla fans. Passionate. We all went to Japan together to go toy collecting.
Minya, Ghidra,
I've seen a couple of the movies.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
We own some.
So get this. Here we are. We're adults. We love Godzilla. We've always loved Godzilla.
Right.
Except for...
Well, I had a period where, I was outgrowing things, or I thought that I was, and I was trying to be more adult at the age of 13, 14.
Sure.
Time you're throwing eggs. Yeah.
And one of my egg-throwing buddies invited me to a matinee of a Godzilla movie, Godzilla on Monster Island.
A new Godzilla movie at that time.
And when he told me what it was, I laughed. I laughed at him because I couldn't believe that someone of our age wanted to go see a Godzilla matinee.
Right. It was before it was okay to never grow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There was stigma. And Woody Allen had just won the Oscar for Annie Hall, and his new serious movie, Interiors, was coming out the same day.
Okay.
And I really wanted to see Interiors. It happened to be playing at the same theater that the matinee was playing at. So I went to see the Godzilla movie with my friend, and he left, and I stayed for Interiors. And an usherette found me sitting there, and she didn't believe that I bought another ticket to this movie. So she picks me up by the scruff of my collar, no exaggeration, and marches me out to the window. And the ticket guy was like, "Yeah, he bought another ticket." It's like, wow.
Oh, you didn't sneak into the
I didn't
another
sneak
movie?
into it.
But
I was.
You were the nicest child in the world.
Well,
Holy smokes.
Nice, yes. But I thought
But
to
an
myself,
egg throwing,
I remember
there was a bad dark time.
When James and I first met,
It was only one day.
When James and I first met, I remember saying and telling my wife, "God, if I knew James when we were like 12, man, we would have been pals. We've been buddies." And then he tells the story, and then I'm like, Jackie,
broke your heart.
Oh my God, when he told the story, I was almost in tears. I'm like, if I was that friend and I said, "Hey, let's go to this," and you would have scoffed at me, oh my God, we would have been done. We would have been done. I would have gone, you go, you asshole. And I would have gone in the theater, watched the Godzilla film, and I would have cried.
He did go with him, though.
He did.
I
Yes,
did.
but
I
he
did.
scoffed. He scoffed.
I did scoff.
Yeah.
And that Godzilla matinee was not one of the better Godzilla movies.
But still.
I mean, now,
This relationship is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the funny thing, though. See, as an adult, when I met James as an adult, and how we met is really kind of interesting because we worked at this place where he worked in one part of the building, I worked in the other, and on my desk I had a little Godzilla figure.
CIA.
And I knew,
Dude, you guys were in the CIA.
and I knew, and I knew
It was actually Playboy magazine.
Playboy, yes. So,
Okay.
so I knew who James was. I was introduced to him, but he was just this nice guy who worked with Playmates. Blah blah blah. Great. Well, after about a year, it took a year for him to come over to me and said, "Hey, Larry, so I noticed you had a Godzilla on your desk." And my first thing I thought about was, oh, here this clown is going to make fun of me because, no, okay, I'm going to defend Godzilla. Well, yes, I do. I do have a Godzilla on my desk. I'm a
You
big fan.
hang out with
and-
noodly ladies, and I have a Godzilla.
I have
on
a
my
monster on my... And you know what? He looked at me and goes, well, I'm a Godzilla fan too. And I'm all... And all of a sudden, we just started talking, and we're like two peas in a
Fast
pod.
friends.
Oh, fast friends. He's like my best friend. But
Yep.
then, like I said, I've known Jane for 20 years, and then every once in a while, he throws out something like, I threw eggs when I was a kid. And I mean, again, I never knew this. You think you know someone.
I don't think I've ever shared that with anybody. It's just one of those, like...
Jackie,
you know,
what did
you're
you
not
do?
psyched. Because you're not psyched.
Yeah,
What's in
it's
these drinks? What have you put in these drinks to make him
That
bring up
Diet
this story?
Coke in his New York City MTA in his Subway cup. I have a comparable story with someone I never liked. Hung out with her for about 2 years because she had a car, so she would drive us both to open mic. And
Okay.
one week she said, "You pick the movie, and I'll pick the movie next time." And I was like, "Okay." And so I picked a sane movie, Defending Your Life.
Okay.
A
all right.
wonderful movie, Albert Brooks.
Brooks.
Yeah.
Life affirming.
Okay.
About death.
it's even death affirming.
It's even death affirming. And then afterwards, the following week, pardon my language, fucking Silence of the Lambs, which I am not good with tension. I don't enjoy tension.
It's a great
it makes
movie,
me
Jack.
It
It's a
is
great movie.
Not a bad scene in it. Incredibly well done.
Yeah.
Guess what I never needed to see? A terrifying movie and it was packed. So I couldn't get out of my chair because she made us sit in the middle. And it was the end of a friendship that barely existed, is what I'm telling you. It's a great story.
Now, just out of curiosity, did she kind of know? Did she kind of,
Yeah.
you know what, Jackie,
Yeah.
you know what?
She was a dick.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because that sounds kind of mean. Like,
It's
look,
a dicky
if
thing
you,
to do.
Look, you and I, we're friends. And if I didn't know that you don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jackie, I would never say, Jackie, oh, I'm taking
We're
you
going to see Get Out.
No.
Or
No, Jackie,
Cabin in the Woods, which are the two
I
scariest
wouldn't-
movies I kind of wanted to see.
Right. No, but what I would say is I would never force that upon you. I'd say, okay, Jackie's tolerance is X. So
Right.
I would say, well, maybe we're not going to watch that. But we're going to try and see something else. Maybe
I
something
saw
like the,
Aliens versus Alien.
Okay,
Alien, terrifying.
Yeah.
Aliens, scary,
Yeah.
but actiony.
yes,
Right.
actiony. That's
And,
true. That is true.
I can do actiony.
Yeah.
Scary, genuinely frightened. Not what I'm looking for in a movie.
Yeah.
They've already won the
Right.
horror people.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I actually, considering the irony of being on Monster Party, I tend to stay away from movies that are a little too rattling too.
Well, but you see, it's not like there's something
And
that
they
there's,
can be
there's,
really well
there's
done.
the horror, what they call the horror porn or torture
porn.
You know?
You couldn't pay me to see an Eli Roth movie.
There's stuff that I'm not interested. We did an episode called Foreign Horror. And one of the most famous foreign horror films is this film called Cannibal Holocaust. And it's a film that I know of, and I know of the history. I've never seen it. I know of it. But
Right.
because our topic was foreign horror, I felt like, well, we kind of had to talk about it, because if we didn't, it'd almost be, well,
Because your fans know there's
Sure.
minutia that they know.
And it's a famous film. There's a lot of things in the film that I don't need to see. There's actual, like, really real deaths of animals in it that I don't need to see.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a very famous scene where someone gets impaled. Now, the weird thing about it is you go, well, I've seen sword and sorcery film. No, this is really, really graphic. In fact, so graphic, when this film came out, people actually thought that
They killed someone.
And the director was actually put on trial. They had to prove
They had to find the person who had the actor who had been impaled.
which they did. And also there was an agreement by some of the actors. There was an agreement by some of the actors
Yeah.
in the film that once the film comes out, you vanish. You vanish for a year.
Because it was a horror film that was part of the marketing thing.
Well, and the weird thing, they did something similar with Blair Witch too. Like they tried to, the actors that were in it, they said, okay, when the film comes out, you're gonna like go away for a while. We want to create this thing that this is found footage and that you were really killed and it created all this buzz and it. Very cheaply made film made millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
So Cannibal Holocaust, it's not a film that I recommend, but we kind of had to talk about it. And the history behind the director going on trial that's an interesting thing.
Who was the director you said that you would not see? You couldn't be paid to see?
Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Eli Roth.
I guess he's sort of considered the founder of torture porn.
I don't know if he's necessarily the founder, but what's happened is he's like known.
How many
now,
movies does he have? Does he have a lot? Or
It's got quite a few.
Is he cranking them out?
He was responsible for Hostel.
Hostel, yeah. Which Matt has said that it is kind of, it has this drama. This these people are you're a student and you're traveling across country and you go, hey, we'll stay at this hostel, and they think, hey, there's going to be kind of like sexy women there, and you kind of and we're going to party, and you're brought into this place, and it's kind of like flypaper kind of a thing, and these horrible things happen, and it's very graphic, and
it's and the makeup is so good right now, and some of the stuff. I was watching a movie not long ago, and there was a death scene in it, and I was like, this is way too real. I feel like someone's preparing me for something. Like, why do I have to see what it would really look like? Because this looks pretty real, and pretty gross. And
with CGI and the incredible makeup effects, you're right. You can actually create and do anything.
It looks pretty darn like someone's like someone's in trouble.
Well, it's weird. It's
but I can see why you'd want to do it if that was your art.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but I think there are ways there are some great classic horror films or monster films that feel like they don't need to be that graphic, or maybe due to the times they didn't, and it still be very creepy. We were talking about a film called The Innocents. The Innocents, which is with
what year?
I want to say 62 or 67, but it's with Deborah Carr.
Oh.
And it's a great mood piece about this. She's this governess it's kind of takes place in it's I want to say like in the 50s or something, or like 40s or something. And so she's this governess to come take care of these two kids. Okay. And there are these ghosts.
Anti-Mary Poppins?
Yes, because it's a boy and a girl.
Okay.
And actually the ages are very similar. But there are these ghosts or spirits that are kind of like possessing the children.
Right.
And it's great and it's creepy, and just what they do with lighting, it's really simple what they do with lighting and just people behind glass, and it's so great and creepy, and gives
and
it
isn't
goosebumps.
super graphic.
No,
it's all implied.
So see, this is a film that I would say, Jackie, I know you don't like the graphic stuff of like Silence of the Lambs, but let's watch this because it's kind of like a gothic horror film or something like that.
Matt Weinhold, your buddy Matt Weinhold from Monster Party, and I'm talking, by the way, with Larry and James from Monster Party. It's at Monster Party HQ.
Monster Party,
but Matt has that projector with 35 millimeter,
16
millimeter
prints that he collects.
Yeah. He's a huge fan of 16 millimeter films.
And we were at, this had to be 3 or 4 years ago, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
Oh, what a fun film.
I had never seen it. I never heard of it.
No.
I was like, this is a scary.
Were you living under a rock?
I've always lived under a rock, especially when it comes to Halloween and horror movies. But I'm on board.
Yeah.
And because I remember when I was little, there was a movie theater in my little factory town in Wisconsin. It was called the Garden Theater. And every Sunday after church, my brothers and sister and we would all spend, I was raised in the Appalachians in the 20s, because we would spend a dime and go to the Garden Theater. I don't know how much it was, but it must have been cheap because there were so many of us.
Yeah.
And we would go, and it was always an old-timey black and white monster movie, like Dracula or werewolves or The Mummy or something like that.
Sure.
And I remember watching them when I was like 4 or 5, 6 years old, and never being scared, and just kind of laughing and being psyched.
You were having fun.
It was more of a psyched kind of thing about how scary it was and creepy it looked.
Yeah.
And I would like to recapture that.
Yeah.
That I think is kind of one of the neatest things about Halloween.
Well, it's funny. You touched on something. Matt does have this massive collection of 16 millimeter films. When we were all kids, and this is before the days of VHS or DVDs, but when I was a kid, if they wanted to show something, there was a 16 millimeter projector that was wheeled into the classroom, and then they put something on, and you would hear in the background the projector going as the movie or the thing, it's like, dental hygiene. This is what you learn. but there was something kind of special and visceral about that sound,
Right. It was why the projectionists in movie theaters were in a soundproof booth.
Exactly. And
so that you didn't have to hear that. But at school,
when Matt has these little parties, I would say to your listeners, if you ever get a chance to go to some kind of 16 millimeter screening or something, go just for the nostalgia. It's so fun because you're watching the movie, you're hearing the projector. And typically, it's rare that everyone's sitting there and everyone's being quiet. Normally, it's like you're watching something and people are like talking to the screen,
riffing
and that's fun. That when it's done, if it's not constant, that's fine. But you touched on Ghost of Mr. Chicken with Don Knotts, such a great movie. Because
it's just fun, scary.
Yeah, because Don Knotts, who was in
Andy
Griffith, he was in his. This is like
he's Mr. Chicken.
Yes.
He's the one who's Mr.
He's not the ghost.
There's this murder in this town, and he's trying to be a journalist or something, and he hears this scream or something, he goes running into this old mansion, and he thinks he sees these horrifying things, and he's just terrified. He runs back to the newspaper place and tells about what happened, and it turns into this big story in the town, and how some people believe him. Yes, you did see these ghosts. You did see these things. It kind of has like a Scooby-Doo-ism thing about it, but it's a wonderful film. It has some great creepy organ music in it, which
has
I
some
love.
Nice organ music, some eyeballs, and a picture.
Yeah,
I came to it late. I never saw it as a kid, and I always assumed that the premise was that he had to spend a whole night in this haunted house, and that's partially it. But I didn't realize that there was so much of his interaction with the town, and that's most of the movie.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. That's a good film for you. I think.
It was a great film for me. I was psyched that Matt Weinhold introduced me to such a thing. Yeah. It's when he gets better, because he had a little spot of surgery, got to get him on. Do you have other suggestions? He had
some back surgery, and he's pulling through. He'll be okay.
Yeah.
The Percocet's helping out a lot.
He's a tough guy.
I'm allergic to all things perk. Percodans, your Percocets, your all they give me hives.
Yeah.
But are there other movies like that are sort of light but also good Halloween movies that the audience might
certainly
like?
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is the granddaddy.
That is a classic.
That one I saw as a child.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we talked about that. People would say, if listeners don't know, Abbott and Costello were a huge comedic team, back in the days
40s and 50s.
In the 40s and 50s, and hugely, hugely popular. And some people think that, when the monsters kind of lost their being horrific and monsters, that's when Abbott and Costello came in. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at the film, the horror is played straight.
Yeah.
And it's done with a lot of affection and care.
Yeah.
And right, they're clear. They love the genre. I think.
And typically most kids they would see that, and that started the love of a lot of these monsters, because many kids saw that.
Because it was an introduction to the
scary.
Right.
And so back during that time when that film came out, the advent, with television and stuff, when a lot of these horror movies started to play on TV. Kids say, I saw Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I want to check out this Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, or The Bride of Frankenstein, or The Wolfman with Lon Chaney. And that way you get to see the whole serious story.
Right.
But hugely popular, that film.
But that was a great one. That's another one. But Ghost of Mr. Chicken, I think, was in color, and Abbott and Costello is in black and white.
Yeah. What's cool about in our house with my daughter, my daughter's not one of the kids that says, it's black and white, I don't want to watch it. No. I taught my kid well. My kid, if it's black and white, she's totally
It shouldn't
up for
even
it.
be an issue.
Right.
Just watch the moving picture.
Jackie, you would be surprised as to how many people say that. Adults.
No, my
adults
sister.
Whoa. Okay.
Who I love dearly.
She's dead to me. Okay. It's like these adults, it's black and white. I can't. And then what I want to say to them is, okay, so I guess you're not going to watch Woody Allen's Manhattan, because that was black and white. Huh?
There's any number of reasons not to watch Woody Allen.
I
You guys.
Whoa!
I struck a nerve.
Yes,
Struck a nerve.
Yes, you
All right,
did.
all
Yes,
right.
you did. But
So-
it's like when I hear that, it's like you are so full of crap. There's
Yeah.
a lot of great stuff, and I'd be willing to bet if we tied your sister up and we put her in front of a TV and said you're going to watch this black and white movie, she'd go no. I think if it's a good one, if it's good, she'd get into it.
She does get into it now, but
Yeah.
there was decades when she was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "It's a Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn movie. You're out of your mind not to enjoy such a thing."
Oh.
And do you ever see Holiday with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn? It's not Holiday Inn.
No,
it's
okay,
not
no,
Roman Holiday.
okay,
It's
yeah,
not.
you threw me off
It's just
there.
Holiday. It's 1938. Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant. It came out after Bringing Up Baby.
Okay. Yes.
And
yes.
and it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's smart. It's smarter than Bringing Up Baby. It's one of my favorites.
It's not very Halloweeny though.
It is
You
not.
know.
So we can keep talking. Keep moving.
Yeah. Well,
There
another
you
one.
go.
I love to watch. You say like, what do you like to watch at Halloween? A couple things I love
Yeah.
to watch. Number one, I think ultimate Halloween movie for me is
Okay.
the classic Night of the Living Dead, the George
Yeah.
Romero from '68.
Okay.
That always gets me in the mood for a Halloween.
Okay.
The second one, believe it or not, I like to watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Because
I tried to get into that every year, and then it doesn't hold up as good as I want.
What
Like,
do you mean it doesn't hold up?
I'm
Of
so
course it
sorry.
holds up. Jackie,
No, I'm with you, Jackie. I
it's
didn't
stop
think it
motion
was-
animation. Oh, you're so
I
full
didn't
of
think it was
crap.
all that to begin with. I was disappointed.
It's more
you don't
Christmassy than Halloween.
You know, look, yes, but you see, if I'm watching on Halloween, it's Halloween characters and stop motion animation.
I watch Charlie Brown.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I watch
That's
that.
great.
That's the cartoon that I watch.
I love that.
And then I think I've been looking to buy The Ghost of Mr. Chicken because I
Yeah.
kind of want to watch it every
can
year.
get it. You
And
can
I'm
get
going to get Abbott and Costello, I think, because
Yeah,
that's
that's a
going to
good
be
one.
great. What do you like to watch? Night of the Living Dead might be too.
Well,
that's the
No,
one in
you
the
know
mall,
what?
right? Is that the one in the
That's
mall?
Dawn of
that's
the Dead.
newer version.
That's Dawn of the Dead. Okay.
And Jackie, again, I would not pin you down and force you to watch it because I get a feeling now of like what you're like.
Right.
I would.
I'm
I
a
would
lightweight
watch,
when it comes to attention.
But see, Charlie Brown, it's Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown,
Yeah.
is a classic, and I love watching it.
Right, because
It's-
I think it's been established, Larry, that you're a bit of a nostalgic buff. You enjoy possibly some
Yes,
nostalgia.
I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Charlie
Sure.
Brown, and yeah, I do.
No, I also tend to watch Night of the Living Dead, the classic.
Okay.
But John Carpenter's Halloween. Because
Which you were saying Halloween, and I keep thinking you're saying Halloween, and I'm like, what is Halloween?
Oh, it's my New York
it's
accent.
your
I
New
think.
York
I
accent.
thought it was your Greek accent.
It's that too.
It's funny because sometimes
mix.
on our show, again, we're drinking, we're having a few cocktails.
Right.
Every once in a while, we'll say something, and you mispronounce something, and there were several times when James in a row he said something, a certain word
With an accent.
Well, and it's like, or Sean would correct him. It's like, do you remember that? Oh,
Well, it was it was from Star Wars, the twin ion engine spaceship.
Yeah.
And Sean said, "Well, I had pronounced it Eon engine because in Greece they say Eon, and not Ion." And then Sean corrected me, and I said, "Well, the Greeks pronounce it Eon." And so it's become like a running gag.
Yeah, and then we say to Sean, what do you hate about Greeks? What is it? That was a great
Right?
thing.
Why gotta? So at Halloween, that's the one where there's sequels, obviously, right?
Many sequels.
There were
Many
many sequels, but the first one is genuinely the scariest.
Oh, absolutely.
and
No one knew.
and a real plot,
And-
right? 'Cause
and
it's like the first season of a reality show. Nobody knew that it was going to be the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's something about, when I was growing up, for maybe 2 or 3 years in a row, there would be midnight shows of Halloween, and every Halloween it would be a tradition. I'd go see it with friends,
Right.
The same friends who went egging with me, and
well, are you still friends? Is everyone grown up okay? Has
I
it been
think
all
I
right?
think they're like school teachers now in Queens.
See,
I
there
haven't,
you go.
Yeah.
It's
But almost any John Carpenter movie evokes the Halloween season for me because the music that he largely composed himself. But movies like Prince of Darkness and Christine, and they just have this, even Escape from New York, which isn't really a horror film, they have this autumnal feeling, and it's largely because of that music that he composed.
you know what's a good autumn movie? Big.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I like Big.
Because it has
That's
that
fun.
nice. He's going through. The leaves are
Yeah.
falling at the last season. I always think of autumn. When Harry Met Sally. That's another autumn movie. Anyway,
well, not very
not really.
Halloweeny.
No,
but
neither
I
one of
mean,
them. A little terrifying.
Big has a little bit. There's
Yeah.
a little
Godfather
something.
2. because the leaves are blowing.
Again, not really a Halloweeny type
Godfather
film.
1 has the horse's head.
Right.
So there's
Oh,
some
well, yeah,
there's
that's
that,
very
yeah.
that's very Halloweeny. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, I see you there.
My relationship with the moving pictures is so complicated that it's I used to watch all the movies all the time. I'd go every weekend. I'd watch 5 or 6 movies. And then I moved to Los Angeles,
Yeah.
where everyone has an opinion. And to some extent, they kind of ruin movies for me. It was I got too many commentaries about the lighting or the production choices, and you're like, who cares?
You know,
does it look like everyone's real? I kind of like it.
I understand. You know, Jackie, I like to go see a film, and I like to go and just I'm immersed in the film. I don't want to analyze it. I'm sitting there and going, oh, okay, well the light was over here, and oh, the acting in there was
Right, because I'm not a director.
No. It's just when you go see a film, I like to go and experience it and enjoy it. So
Just
when
unplug.
I come out. That's maybe I can analyze it. My first reaction is, gosh, I really liked that. That was a lot of fun. And then I can, boy, the kids in that were great, or the dialogue was great. Oh, what they did, how they handled this, but not during it, or
Right.
I want to try to experience it and have fun with it.
Right, and and try not to find if you give me some sort of weird review that involves like nuances of acting and nuances of production, you've essentially pulled me out of the fact that was a Wonder Woman movie. Right. So I'm just.
By the way, which I loved. By the way,
it was people on horses fighting World War I guys. It was pretty great, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great movie.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that was a lot of fun.
You guys, it's been an hour. You'll be disappointed.
No way.
Yes.
Where did the
that
time
went
go?
really fast.
It went really fast.
I could
See,
go
gotta
another
get you-
hour. I
exactly.
have
gotta
so many
you guys
Halloween
back.
stories.
A lot of Halloween stories.
Yeah, I do.
Would love to come back.
It's gonna. Yeah, you guys got to come back.
Or maybe
because-
get the other clowns in here.
And-
Get Sean and Matt in
and
here.
every-
and then you can
every 4
compare.
years.
You can say who was more fun. Maybe that's what you'll do.
All right. So everybody, listen to Monster Party on iTunes, and are you on YouTube? You got anything?
We do have a
yes.
we do have a YouTube presence with some entertaining videos on there.
There you
it's
go.
a lot
so
of
look
fun.
up Monster Party HQ, and it's at Monster Party HQ. I've been talking with Larry and James. My name is Jackie Cation. You've been listening to the Dork Forest, and Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?